to the No Invite Podcast. All right, bang, we're back. No Invite Podcast, Season 4, The Process. This is Blaze. You already know, and we got a special guest in the building.
What up, Años? How you doing?
Años, check it out. Tap it in. My partner, my folks, man, known you for quite some time now. I'm going to go ahead and say almost 10 years now. So, like 2014, almost. 2013, something like that. So yeah, we down to 10 years. And bro, I've seen you doing and moving and shaking all over the place. You've always been active in your music, whether it's DJing, whether it's production, whether it's fucking live sound, and now you from what we've been talking about, bro. You're just getting to like a whole nother level with it, man. How's everything going for you?
It's going good. A lot of work. Glad the pandemic's over and just getting back to putting on shows and production and producing more music and getting out and just performing more. It's been cool, man.
How was it for you for the pandemic, man? Because a lot of what you do is based on live performances. Like,
my shit was the first to go. Live performances, we couldn't get together. It was my industry was the entertainment, nightclub, party, music festival. It all was the very first thing to go, and it was the last thing to come back. It's still not back. Like,
not all the way, yeah.
I go to clubs, and it's cracking still, but they're like, club owners are like, the numbers aren't there yet. The numbers are still not there on some of the spreadsheets and stuff. And you talk to some of the security guards, and they're like, this shit ain't cracking.
It's nowhere cracking like how it used to be.
Not like it used to be, no. But it's coming back. It's coming back.
I mean, it's a slow process. No one knows how the fuck this shit was gonna play out. When the pandemic first started, people were running for the hills, fucking tearing their hair out like it's the end of the world type shit. So it's like to get from that point where we were super overly cautious to now where we're realizing that those people that were saying, hey, you gotta kind of get it in order to really be safe. You feel what I'm saying? Because now they're showing even on the news, like with the jab and the whole shit that people were talking about. They're saying that having had COVID already is probably the best immunity for COVID, even more so than the shot.
The herd.
The sheeple.
The herd immunity or whatever.
Yeah,
it's
herd
called.
immunity.
Yeah.
And they were saying that, and I get it. When they were talking about that, because it's like, fuck, you're asking people basically because people are saying, forget that, fuck a jab, we're just going to keep getting into it. But there's still people that were at risk. There's still elderly people. There's still people, with medical conditions, whatever the case might be. So it's like, I get it. But at the end, they got all these motherfuckers to take the fucking whatever, the shot and some more shit. And it ended up being, we ain't even really need it like that.
Yeah, I think, it should have always been kind of a choice. It shouldn't have been shut down the way it was. Mm-hmm. It should have been a choice. But I'm just, people should be aware. Fucking wash your hands. Wear a mask if you're sick. Yeah. If you're going to go out into public and you're coughing, and you got to get from point A to point B on the BART, wear a fucking mask, bro.
Facts.
Be courteous. I even remember you came to class one time and you were sick. And you sat in the corner, fucking bandana up.
Yeah.
And I remember just being like, this fool's nuts. And it's like, oh, he's sick. But that's what people need to be aware of that. And I think now more people are aware of that. That brings numbers down.
Yeah. The overall, it's a lot of shit that people had to learn. And it was like, for the longest, there was always people wearing masks. A lot of the Asian community was always wearing masks. We used to look at them crazy like, hey.
Yeah, they were already on it in China for years.
They were on it in China for years. They knew what time it was. So, to me, I'm all about respect and common courtesy. So if your ass is sick, stay over there. If you got to get to point A, point B, put a mask on, do what you got to fucking do. But don't be in my face with the bullshit. And don't be trying to hit my weed neither. When I'm trying to hit the weed when you ain't, you might be a little sick there. You feel me? But we're definitely moving back. I think this is going to be, last year was kind of like the transitional year.
It's like the upswing.
Yeah, this is like, oh.
Now it's like, okay, we're steady.
We're steady. This is not, because we're cautious. Like, oh man, this is.
Because it came back. Mm-hmm. And then I'm in San Francisco, which is like a hub. So, there was like the most cautious shit out there. Now I feel like it's just like, all right, we're back in business, And then I went to New York during the pandemic, and that's when shit's fucked up. It's like, is New York shutting down? Yeah, we're fucked. This sucks.
Yeah.
New York was shut down for the most part.
Dude, did you see them pictures? Like, them pictures look like I Am Legend when there's some dude that took a bunch of pictures of New York when it was shut down, when it was full lockdown, pandemic, you know, right in the beginning of it. And the fucking streets were empty as fuck. Like, Times Square, butt naked. It looked like they said, like I Am Legend and shit.
Yeah, New York and LA and San Francisco, they had like, I got a job delivering weed during the pandemic because I lost my job, so I got an essential needs job. And that was interesting because I drove up and down California and I saw like up in the mountains with like rednecks and like people that were just out in the mountain air. They didn't believe the shit. And then I'd drive the next day, I'd be into LA with like people just living on top of each other, and the police are coming out and they're clearing people out, you know, giving out masks, telling people they need to get off the street. It was crazy.
You're seeing like the both sides
I saw
of the
whole
thing.
West Coast, except for, you know, all of California.
All of Cali.
Yeah.
Nah, man, it was definitely like a vibe right now. Like, I think it's still too soon, but in about another 5 years or so, when they actually make a movie about the pandemic, people are gonna be like, damn, you know, it really was like that. Because it's one thing now, everyone's super happy that it's open, everyone's super happy that we're out and about now. They're kind of trying to like forget that, you know what I'm saying? They're kind of trying to like, you know, that's like a bad memory, and they're not really trying to like, you know, think about it. But it's like, if you really think about it, like how you said, you've seen the extremes from going somewhere where they didn't fucking believe it to going there, and then you seen it spreading, and then just being alive and hearing like, oh, it's in Antioch. There's cases in Antioch now. There's this, that, and it's happening out here. It's like, fuck, like it was like a monster slowly coming for you and shit. So, yeah, I think that now we're past that. We're on the upswing now. Shit is getting better, because even last year was still a lot of reluctance, still a lot of people not really putting out functions or doing shit like they're supposed to, or they were just trying to keep everybody still a little bit spaced out.
We did. So one of the clubs I work for, we started doing outdoor parties, and we had to square people off. So you could come in with like your squad of like 6 or 8 people, but you guys had to sit at your table over here, and it was weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
And then you'd see your boys over at the other table, but security would be like, no, you can't go over there, and just sit here and watch the show.
Watch the show, and
and then go home.
And what's crazy is as much as that sucks and everything, people are still coming for that. Still, we're here because they've been locked down for so fucking long. Fuck, bro,
no, people came out. People had a good time. It was, you know, like I said, open air.
Yeah.
There was a couple cases of events that people caught COVID that I know of. But not anything like the scare that was in the beginning, you know?
Nothing like how they were at first. Like, oh my gosh. Like, I mean, it was obviously something to be worried about, but I think they kind of overplayed it. And I think they at times were underplayed it, where they you know, it could have deserved more attention, that they could have did something earlier, and they didn't. I'm just happy that it's back. Summer's right around the corner. Spring is here. We're about to be outside, pop-up weather, live shows,
I'm
bars,
ready for the summer.
all that fun fly shit that like I said, we kind of barely getting back into the normal things, where it's feeling like people more and more, because it's gonna take a while to convince, you know, everybody that used to go out on the regular to be out. You know, right now the brave souls, when they first started opening shit up, they're like, fuck that, I'm tired of being locked up. To like the casual person that was, you know, that was strict about their shit, they're kind of like, you know, being comfortable now to step out. You see more people going to Disneyland and shit like that.
Yeah. You know what's crazy that I noticed is working in the club scene and just like in nightclubs and events, is there's a whole generation of people that don't know how to be out. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Like they turned 21, they turned 18, 19, 21 during the pandemic.
Yeah.
Now they're like 22. And like they're bumping into people, they're rude. You know, they're drinking hella fast because they've just been sitting at home getting hammered, and now they're out and they got all the lights and the music and the half naked women.
Getting caught up in the hype.
Yeah, you know, they're just like, they don't understand. They're rude to bottle service. Yeah. It's like, oh, you guys don't know the etiquette. You don't know how to fucking just be out and be cool.
So now that you say that, because that is very interesting, and I think that goes to a lot of things that are public. Give me your top rules of etiquette for when you go to the club. What's the things that people should know, especially cats that are just starting off their adventure and might not know?
Oh man, be respectful of everybody, because you don't know who's who
Facts.
Because I've talked to somebody and just been like, who is this, this dork or like this weird person? And it's like, yo, that fool owns a club, or like he's in charge of all these artists, and you just don't know who's who. So if you're feeling yourself and you're going out and you see somebody that maybe you're not vibing with or whatever, and you say something rude, or just believe me, they'll remember, and then
that might cost you at your club,
you don't
next
want
club experience.
Insert mouth, and realize like, oh, I was just talking to the boss, like of this whole venue, or like the head bartender or something, Tip your bartenders, tip people, be kind, be courteous to everybody. And, just everybody's out having a good time.
Just remember that. Yeah, I totally agree. Y'all got to tip the people. We're just talking about tips. Tips are not mandatory, obviously, but tips are a form of gratitude, showing your server, especially if your server is speediest and taking care of you the right way like you should. It's a service. They're providing a service for you. Yes, they're getting paid already, but those tips are the reason. Those tips are like to show the appreciation for what they're doing, because everybody's had a shitty waitress. Everybody's had a shitty, bartender.
Some service people are making like minimum wage or even less, and it's just like, this is what they do. This is how they get by,
Facts. So it's important, and it's a showing of gratitude, and it's also that's part of your clubbing and nightlife, y'all. Like, so.
And I promise you, if you tip a bartender well, they will remember you. And when you come back, they'll know your drink, they'll know your name. Like they'll start to.
They'll get you in. Like, let her in.
But if you don't.
You might be outside waiting for a while.
You might be waiting for your drink for a while.
And that goes to security. That goes to security in the club. Security don't want to fuck no problems with you. They want to make sure that nobody has no problems, period. Like, they're not there to sweat you. So if they don't tell you what you want to hear, it ain't because they're fucking trying to be assholes or nothing. Don't get me wrong. There's an exception to every rule. I'm sure there is somewhere out there in the world. There's security that just trip for no reason. But for the most part, most security, they just want to do their job.
They have a job. It's not personal. You got to think they're dealing with like massive amounts of people. Half these people are sitting there drunk, going, I know so and so, I could get in. They're like, no. And then the other day I went to a nightclub that I work at, and security didn't want to let me in. And and so I could have sat there and been like, do you know who I am? It's like, no, nobody fucking knows who you are. Like, these people they deal with so many faces on a daily basis, and you just got to be calm and cool. And talk
and respectful, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. And then as soon as he, after a minute, he like looked at me and was like, "Oh yeah, no, you work here." I was like, "Yeah, it's all good." And he was like, "Hey man, like my bad." It's like, "Don't trip." Like you're doing your job and you're doing a good job.
You're doing a good job, yeah. Because if you didn't know, that's what you're supposed to do. If you didn't remember me right away, you're supposed to do that. And like, that's where people forget shit. People forget, like a lot of times, this is business. It's not personal. They're not looking out to try to fucking shit on you or make you look bad in front of your friends. But also, it's your attitude. If you come in there rowdy, you come in bumping into people like you said, and mad disrespectful for no reason, no kind of etiquette, no excuse me's, no thank yous and shit like that. I mean, you get the energy you put out. And that goes from everybody, from your waitress to your bartender to your thing. If you're putting out that kind of energy, you're being rude and disrespectful, well, expect that in return. Just because people are here getting paid to provide a service, that doesn't mean that they have to deal with your bullshit. They're not here to fucking put up with your fucking attitude or your other shit. That's not how it goes. So just remember that. That is some good etiquette tips, though. Tip well, be respectful. What else? Give them one more if you got one for them.
Oh, man. You know what? Don't be so thirsty. Don't be so thirsty. Drink a glass of water.
Hydrate.
Don't be so thirsty, because these women, guys, if these women want to be seen, they'll make themselves seen for you. Like, don't go chasing girls, putting your hands on women that don't want to be touched. Like, it's a good way to get your ass thrown out and just made to be a chump. And these women talk. These women all talk. There's a network of females, and they're all talking to each other. So if you are an asshole to one chick, I guarantee you she's gonna fucking tell 5.
What's the most thirstiest thing that you've seen working at these clubs since you started?
Oh, I've seen dudes just full on try and grab chicks. Pull clothes off.
Wow, wildin'.
Yeah, I've seen just stupid pickup lines to people that are working, and it's like, why you think I'm here to like flirt with you? Like, I'm here to earn, like work, you know,
get my money and make sure you guys got what you need. And,
fair exchange. Like bottle service, especially, it's like, yeah, you can be nice to bottle service girls, but like these girls aren't here to like hang out with you. You know, they're here to get a paycheck.
Here to get a paycheck, and like you said, they're here to bring you your shit. Like you obviously you can't go back there and make your own drinks and shit. So they're here to provide a service and make sure that you're taken care of, and that's it. They're not here for you to grab their booty cheeks when they're not paying attention. They're not here for you to fucking make stupid comments and harass them and shit. It's like, yo, let if they, like you said, if they available, if they will make stuff available, if they like you and they feeling you, they'll let it be known. You ain't got to do all that, though. Now that we're actually getting into that, bro, how is it working in the city, man? How has the city life been treating you, man? I know you said you've been working there for a minute, and you tell me about your club experience, but how about your overall just experience out there?
It's cool, man. I like being out in the city. There's a lot to do. There's never a dull moment. You know.
How's the crime?
The crime? Yeah. It's a Bip City, baby. It's Bip City. This is a Bip City, dog. This shit. I mean, it is what it is, bro. This people, when you stack that many people on top of each other, and then you get something like coming out of the pandemic, you know, people are gonna react. And I mean, it's the crime out there. It just depends on what kind of crime we're talking about. Are we talking about homelessness? Are we talking about like peddling dope? Are we talking about
about the Bip?
The BIP, like, are we talking about? There's all kinds of crime, but it gets pushed around to different parts of town, you know.
It all depends. It's a lot. Like you said, I agree with you totally. It's the city. I mean, for anybody anywhere to expect it to be crime free or just perfect, that's not how it goes. You got too many people in too much of a compressed area. So there's going to be all kinds of shit. The BIP is wild, though. The BIP is new. But it's like also, you know, with the laws that are getting passed and stuff and what they're sweating off now, what they could take you to jail for stealing and whatnot. It's like
they just don't care.
They just don't care. It's like, well, really. Fuck it. I'm not going to jail for this, you know. I got to steal I got to BIP so many cars and get caught for all of them for them to take me to jail. You know what I mean?
What's crazy, too, what I see now, which is like, when I was younger, like, if you were going to do some dirt, you were wearing black. Mm-hmm. I see people fucking robbing people in their drip. I'm like, this was wearing like a yellow shirt, like green pants, like some fucking J's, you know, the orange fucking bag. I'm just like, this will, you're not cutting it all right now.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? It's like people are evolving and adapting. Same thing with the masks. Remember, like now, like everybody wears those ninja masks.
You can wear the mask too. Everybody's got the mask on.
Yeah, people are adapting. So now you used to have to watch like, oh, that motherfucker in the coat and the beanie pulled low, you know, you got to keep an eye on him when we walking around. And it's like, now it's like, nigga, a motherfucker drive by in his fucking nice car, in his drip, see something, park around the corner, jump out, rob your ass, and then drive off. And it's just you least expect that from that person.
I've seen cars get broken into in front of like nice hotels, in front of a group of people with like security guards right there.
And nobody want to do nothing but pull their phone out now.
Yeah. And then, you know, the catalytic converters. Everybody was getting their catalytic converters stolen for a while.
Yeah, it's still going on. Like, I just seen a report. Somebody got arrested for this because somebody was cutting out their catalytic converter underneath their car, and they didn't know, and because I guess they came out to leave. They jumped in the car and drove off and drugged dude like 50 feet. So, pass me that.
Jeez.
So yeah, I was just like, wow, that's fucking insane. And the guy driving's going to jail. He's like, he's taking my catalytic converter. I didn't know. Obviously, he probably heard him coming, so he stopped and be silent under there.
Oh, he was underneath taking it? Oh, shit.
He was underneath taking it. I guess dude jumped in his car, and dude was being quiet, trying to see whatever. And dude smashed off and fucking, and ran his ass over. It was just like, geez.
That's fucked up.
I mean, the city is the city. I love the city. I love that, you know, it's balanced. You could see, you know, just your regular square techie dude, you know, going to his job, doing his shit. And then you could see, like, someone like me and you walking down the street, like, in the same element and just have, you know, enjoying the area and whatever. Before, it used to not be like that. There'd be spaces like that in the city, but before it was like It was different, you know. So I think it's cool now because I go down there and I could damn near run into anybody from anywhere out there doing something. But then again, it's also kind of like, I don't like how just it's changing in as far as like the quality of life. Like you said, like the bit, man. It's like, fuck, bro. I like going to the city. I don't go often, but I like going out and hanging out and shit. And it's like, I don't want to get my fucking car broke into. You feel what I'm saying? I don't want to go out there and get my shit. And we just talked about it on a couple podcasts ago, and it's like, at least I know that, so I prepare. You know, when I go and I make sure that, hey, if I run the risk, I'm gonna run the risk. It is what it is. But some lady, I guess she got $30,000 stolen from her because she was going to, from her business. She was going to go deposit it. She went to stop the Starbucks real quick, left it in her car, which should have never left her person. In my opinion, you got that much money, that shit better stay on you. And they bipped their car and took it. That's from out here. That's fucking wild, right?
I've had my shit bipped. I feel like it's like a rite of passage at this point.
Yeah, you're not a real Bay
pedestrian.
Yeah, you're not a pedestrian if you don't get bipped once. I was on my lunch break and I took one of the little scooters. I was over there by Fisherman's Wharf. Took one of the little scooters for a spin. Like, fuck it, it's nice. I'm gonna smoke me a little joint. You feel me? And ride around. I got to Fisherman's Wharf on the opposite on the other side of the street, and fucking I look, bro, no bullshit. Like every other car for at least like 10 to 12 cars was bipped. Like somebody said, ran through it, ran over to the next one, ran over to the next one, because it was, and I was just like, fuck. I was like, a lot of these cars, you could tell that they missed certain cars and they went for other cars. So I'm just like, yo, y'all got to learn about the bit, man. If you're not from out here, don't leave shit in your car that you're not okay with parting with if it gets stolen. You feel me? But that's dope. I'm glad you've been out there though. I know you've been doing like a bunch of dope shit. We're gonna take a quick little break though, and we're gonna jump right back in. And we're back, No Invite Podcast, episode 127. You know what it is, man. We are here, and we got Años in the building. How you doing, sir?
Feeling good, feeling great.
Feeling good. We had some unexpected visitors, so you know your boy ain't gonna be rude. We're gonna make sure that we do it and do it right. Before we get off into anything else, I want to make sure that you guys understand that we have a lot of dope things going on with the podcast. One of those is that we're starting to get our advertisers, tapped in and really, just really with us on what we need to be on, on our grind. You feel me? We all got things that we got to do. We all got, our bag that we're trying to get to. So with that being said, I want to definitely talk about our sponsor for this week's episode. It's Electrolife. It's the first personal electrical vehicle. They are located in the 209. They sell and serve brands and currently have different brands and offer brands like electric scooters, e-bikes, e-boards, and EUCs. They have high financing options available, no credit needed. For approval, they're located on 343 East Main Street, Stockton, California, Suite 404. Make sure that you guys tap in with them. You can also find them on Instagram at Electric Life. Thank you guys for being a sponsor and rocking with the podcast. And as you always know, we always rocking with y'all in return. And now, back to what we was talking about. We got a Modelo now, so it's Modelo time. So cheers real quick. Cheers. We had to go take a pause for the drink cause, back to what you're doing, man. I don't think, because like a lot of people, it's been a while since you've been on the podcast, so only the real fucking diehards know who you are as far as in relation to what you do and your journey and stuff like that. And so give everybody that's listening right now just a breakdown of what it is that you do.
Professional audio engineer, lighting designer, and operator. Video. I do videos. Just like big scale production at nightclubs and for events and music festivals. And wow. I met you going to school for music, and then always kind of been DJing and stuff, and that's just like been doing more and more of that. And one thing just led to another, and here we are. Paying the bills.
Here we are. And it's taking you everywhere, bro.
Yeah.
you know, I'm lucky that, like I said, I've known you for 10 years, and obviously I get the honor and the privilege to be your Facebook friend too. So, you know, because everybody can't be that. I might know you from the streets, but you can't be my Facebook friend. Everybody can, at least, and I'm sure it goes for me too. But I've gotten to see like your journey and see what you're talking about, and then and not only that, we've kept in touch. So you tell me what you got going on, I tell you what you got going on by following each other on socials and stuff like that. But it's dope to see like your momentum. You know, like from when we met to now, and what you got your hands into, and all the different like aspects of what you do, because you obviously got a lot of things going on. It's not like you just only because he didn't even name producer, y'all. He didn't say he produces. He didn't say, you know, makes music. There's a lot of other things, you know, and entrepreneur. You know, we could go on and on, but it's dope watching your journey, man. What's the most interesting moment that you think has happened recently when it's come to like the DJing, bro? Because I think to me right now, I think the DJing is what's been taking you just
the everywhere. DJing. It's been more fun producing music and playing music that I produce. And most recently, I'm cool right now. Most recently, I just went to Tahoe, South Lake Tahoe, and that was cool. Performed.
That's fine.
Got a dope room at the Hard Rock Cafe. Went and played in the snow for a minute, some homies, and then just went around town, got food, hyped people up for the show. It's a small town. There's not a lot of like, you know, people pushing culture, music culture like that.
Thanks.
So they had a small show at a smaller venue called the American Legion. We crushed it. I went up there with the homie Eclectic and the homegirl Rachel Beats. And we just threw down for the Bay Area.
That's right.
Representing a crew called Sound Pieces. It's like 10 years. I want to say they're like 10 years now, deep in music. Probably even longer. But
that's fire, bro. See, and that to me, that's stupid interesting, bro. Like, it's just a whole nother. I could relate because of what I do. So when you go to these towns where it's not as much stuff like that going on, you get that different energy, bro. Like, they appreciate that shit. You know, people really, the ones that show up, that really want that stuff out there, bro. They appreciate it, and they pull up tough, man. Because I've had shows in random places in random cities, and it's just like, yo, it's like, you know they don't get a lot of stuff going on out there, or whether by choice or whatever, but it's just dope to see people come out and fuck with you that. You know, and just really show love, be authentic. Now, it ain't nothing like, you know, like I have to be here or whatever, you know.
What about you? I know you said you were talking about you said something about a movie. I want to know about that.
Well, what we've been doing, right, is just I've been working with writing some scripts and stuff like that. I've been leaning into that more. It's something I've been wanting to do, so I kind of started actually just going back to that.
Because your music videos are always dope.
Right
on. They're a little bit, you know,
different.
Yeah, and they're like higher quality than some people are putting shit out.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying this. I don't do a lot because I think I'm to the point as far as I've been making music for like at least 20 years, you know, recording and stuff like that. So I think, you know, I'm to the point when right now it's like it's hard to get inspired. So if I'm inspired, then it's whatever. We could do all kinds of shit. I get real creative, or we could just deep dive on just one song and whatever. But yeah, man, I'm real selective because of that. Also of what I put out. So it's like I won't always put out something. I won't always put out. I'm not like the average artist that puts out hella music all the time. You know, I might go a little 6 months, give you a year before I drop something, you know, and I know it's probably counterproductive in today's, you know, music industry and culture. But like I said, I'm at the point where I was like, I'm doing it because I'm inspired, and I need to, if I want to, and I want to put out this record because it sounds really good and I like it, you know, or this music. It ain't so much because I feel the need to have more and more content out there. You know, I did that, you know, in my fucking 20s and shit. We would lock ourselves in the studio and come out with like 10 songs a day, you know, some crazy shit. So to me, I could do that still, but I just need to be inspired. Like I said,
I feel it.
I just gotta be like, I feel like I in that, you know.
That's why I started the whole new project, you know, the whole new Años, because it used to be GPK, and then I just started. It was like I want to separate myself from all this music that I just started putting out, you know, and then I like you step your game up, and I just want to start a new project that you know spoke to like Latinos, you know, and. Yeah, just start over again, kind of with the music,
Reinvent
and I'm much
yourself.
more like protective of what I put out now. Where I used to just be like, I'd put shit out, and now I think about it. I haven't I've only got a couple songs out right now. Put out some mixes. I play out more often, you know, but I'm in the studio, and we're just kind of like holding back on some songs, waiting on record releases, and it's just like, you know, much more protective of what I'm putting out these days.
You got to be, bro. I think like. Because it's so oversaturated, if you fall into that, I have to drop some, I have to keep going, then I feel like you're forcing it. So then it's like, yeah, and not only that, but also in business though too. It's like, you know, if you're not more calculated, you don't see the results that you want. If you just quick to just throw whatever out and just whatever, like now when you drop something, when you put something out, it has to be calculated. You have to know, you know, like. What direction you're trying to go with it, how far you're trying to push it, you know, what am I going to invest into this, what am I not going to, and then, you know, then you got shit with other people. It's like if it's got moving parts, you know, that's a different thing and stuff. A lot of times you got to be protective of what you put out, you know, for a lot of different reasons. But that's the cool thing. I think that's the I think when you get more mature into your sound, you know what I mean? You're like picky. You're like, nah. Like before, you'd be like, oh, that's cool. It's like, nah, you're not. Nah, we're gonna come back
like,
to this and change this.
Yeah, like takes you time to like recognize like what it is you like about music. You know, it's like
try to get back to them roots, man. Like when I first. That's another thing. Like I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it funky with you on the podcast. Lately I've been like writer's block. So, you know, I'm like, and it's not like I can't do it because when I get invited to studios, if I could you invite me to the studio, I'm going ham. You feel me? And I have every time I'm going to show up, and I feel inspired, and it just like flows. You know what I mean? Like it's hard to say, the creative process just flows. So then when I got my own home studio and stuff like that, it ain't the same thing.
It's hard at home.
It's hard.
It's hard sometimes.
It's hard to stay.
Yeah.
So, and to me, for artists, since I don't really make beats like that, for me, the hardest thing is to have enough beats. Because it's not that I don't have beats all the time, but sometimes maybe with the mood that I'm feeling, I don't have nothing to fit that mood, how I want to write for that kind of music. Excuse me. So that's where my limitation is. And then so I team up with producers, and we put together projects so I can stay. But then even then, that's a moving part. So I have to make sure we move on each other's time. It ain't just like whenever I want to get to it. So lately I've been like, yo, I went and bought money, got a computer, got all my little setup and stuff like that. And I'm not even using this motherfucker like that. I'm thinking, I'm like, I have to do something to challenge myself. I have to get back to those days when I was putting out mixtapes, and we recorded 3 mixtapes in like 4 weeks, like in a month. We recorded 3 mixtapes and had them done. And that's like, I think it was like maybe like 35 to 40 songs almost on those total mixtapes. You know what I mean? Maybe more. You know, I got to go back and look at the playlist.
I bought a couple. I think I got a couple.
Yeah, like one was like 17 tracks. One was 14. Another one was like 18, I believe, or something like that. So it was like 30 something tracks. So I was like, how the fuck I'm going to get back into that mode? And I'm like, I'm just going to do what I was doing before. And what I was doing before that got me inspired is that I had unlimited beats because I wasn't really paying for beats. I was going online for these mixtapes and downloading beats, and we were just, you know, getting them off. Real mixtape format, basically, formula. You know? So I'm like, yeah, man, let me go. And because after those mixtapes, it's like I swore off that. I'm like, I'm not going to do that no more. Anything I do, I'm going to make sure I pay for from a producer and make sure that we work it out till we get our money from it. I'm not going to just be buying stuff and not getting no authorization, and then my streams are going to this person or whatever, and I'm really not seeing nothing from it, you know, as far as on the money end. But, you know, the mixtapes were really just to get you out there and get your name out there. So I kind of, you know, I was like, I got to stop doing that. So I stopped doing that for a while. And I went back to it not the other day, and I sat down and I wrote like 5 songs in 5 days. I did a damn near a song a day. One day I did like 1.5, so it was kind of like 5 days. But
yeah,
you know,
I go through spurts.
Yeah,
so I try and keep it going as long as I can.
Right the wave.
Because I'm like, I don't know, I might go to sleep and like wake up and not be feeling it, you know. So like sometimes it'll be like, all right, I'm up like 2 or 3 days, like working on stuff and going places and going to shows and like going to the studio, and then I'll be out for like a week, you know, and then I'll try and come back and just try and keep that flow going.
Try to pick up.
Try and pick up more and like make a habit out of like getting on. That's what I've been trying to do more, is make like a habit of just getting up at some point in time and just even turning the computer on and just having to be there, even if I'm only on there for a second. Because I notice if I'm on there for a second, or if I start writing something for a minute, I tend to fucking start going.
Yeah.
You know, but if I don't, then I just don't.
And that's what it is. It's like, when you're doing it, when you're, you know, when you first start making music, you're trying to do it as much as possible as eat, breathe, sleep, think, all that stuff. So it's like, you know, you got that energy, and you know, to get up and just make it happen. And now as you get older, you get better, but then you kind of like, depending on the situation, and then like, for instance, like I said, the house, I could go anywhere else. I'm sure the same thing with you. You go to a function, you go here, they talking about get on and do some shit, you're fucking gonna kill it. It's not you, you'll get inspired, you'll do something. It's just at home. And at home, it's like, yo, that's when you got to really be locked in and try to, because you got more time, you know, maybe not all the time, but that's where you spend your time. So, yeah, like, I'm the same way. When it's on, I try to stay on the wave as much as possible, try to push as much shit out, and not force it. But
the studio helps, like having somewhere to go to, because I got, you know, I have my home studio, which is obviously in my room. Yeah. But then I also have I work in a studio with some friends in San Francisco, and like going there and making that the workspace.
Yeah,
and
that's way more inspiring.
Yeah, it's a little more like it's like more like going to work and clocking in. You know, you're like, all right, I'm here.
You look at it differently.
To do dirt. You know,
like, you know what I came here for.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like if you're at home, you're like, oh, I'm gonna, you know, make some cookies or something. Right now, you're like some dumb shit. Yeah, like
no facts. It makes it more formal. Yeah. Like formal, where you're like, yeah, I know why I'm here. Yeah, too many distractions, and then you got to do. Sometimes you do get the little free time where you get to chill, you know, and it's like, yeah, it's like I want to be lit and just relax. It's like discipline, really, though. If you think about it, it's like you just got to be disciplined enough to come home and give it, like you said, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, 30 minutes, whatever.
It always turns. I guarantee you, man. Like 10 minutes turns to fucking an hour quick, and if you're an artist, you kind of you owe that to yourself.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. It's like anything else, man. If you're an athlete or whatever, the motherfuckers got to hit the gym, you know, and you got to I tell people all the time, I said myself, I'll be like, I'm in the gym, and I'll be talking about the studio. You know what I mean? I'm in the gym and working out. You know what I mean? I tell people, you know what I mean?
No, we'll be doing DJ push-ups.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah. Whatever it takes, bro.
We'll be at home. We'll just booing each other whenever a whack track comes on or whatever. Just fucking push-ups, bro.
Yeah. That's what it is, man. It's this staying in there, staying in the dojo, you know what I'm saying? Doing your daily routine. And you know, it's like the hardest part is when you have your obligations, like you said, you work at the studio, you have your obligations for this and that and other places. But then when you come home, are you still at it in some form or fashion, or are you just kicking back and wasting time? It's like you said, giving it that time. That's where you're exercising still. You feel me? I don't know if that made sense, but it sounded good. But man, what do you got going on now? I know festival season's around the corner. I know all kinds of shit's going on.
I don't know. I don't want to speak on anything too soon because I'm still kind of up in the air as like what's happening. I was supposed to go down to LA, like I said, and work on this nightclub. And then the night before I was gonna go, they called me and they were like, "We're gonna push this back a week or two." And I still haven't really gotten any confirmation on that. So I'm not trying to like speak too much on that, but I think that's on the horizon is, sure. You know, get down there at some point.
Hell yeah.
And start designing and just like checking out the space and seeing, you know, how I can help out and that's what fire. We can do.
More fire, man. Any shows? Any shows maybe? Because I mean, like I said, it's coming around the corner, so you're gonna be a busy person all the way around as an artist and just doing the lighting and everything else. Staging and shit. So
I don't know. They come in. Definitely a couple shows every month seem to come in, keeping it cool. But
that's dope.
Yeah, the Tahoe show is like the last big one that that just happened the other day. So I kind of just got back from that, and I'm just chilling for a minute.
Dope in the building, man. Yeah, we here, and Patty's a producer for this podcast, right? We talked.
Is she? Oh, shout out Patty Cakes.
Shout out Patty.
Hey,
we she gonna know when she sees it. She gonna know exactly who on the podcast. Like I said, only the real diehards know who you are because you've been on it a few times. As for us, man, what we got going on, I really want to definitely team up with you on something, maybe movie related. I could definitely see you playing acting role somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So I think that would be kind of dope. Maybe we could do something like that. But we're always gonna work on something regardless. But still, like I want to try to get you on that end over there, because I am gonna be doing some more short films. We're trying to pump out a few. Get them coming up, get those ready. After we pump those out and we feel like we're good and our look and our sound and everything's good, then we're gonna shoot for either a miniseries or a movie.
Yeah, I'm always down to like throw some music on there too or something.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, just like some background shit or just whatever you need.
I tell my people like this because everybody ain't with like, yo, I'm not the acting type or whatever. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I was like, but we could get you a cameo in the movie doing something. You feel me? You don't have to be like a speaking role if you don't want to be. Because I got a lot of homies. I'm like, bro, I can see you doing movies. I'm telling you, bro, I'm a visionary. One day we gonna do this shit. And some of them are like, nah, bro, I don't do that. I'll be in the background somewhere. I was like, you never know, man. We might just need, we might be in the club in the background. We might need a guy eating a fucking bowl of soup in the background.
The bowl of soup.
In the background somewhere. You never know. But I think that would be dope. That's kind of what I got going on as far as coming up. I'm working on more shorts with a lot of dope people. Shout out Downcast. Shout out Bro Jackson. They definitely are keeping me on point with that because we're teaming up on this shit. Like doing these type of things, I'm noticing. Well, I kind of already had an idea, but I didn't really have an idea until I started doing it. Just the amount of moving parts, to even do like a short that we did. We did like, I think it was like a 12-minute short.
The Halloween special, right?
Is
that what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about. I recently I had an acting gig. And I did a short. I posted. I don't know if I showed you or not. I'll probably show you afterwards though. But it was with these young cats that are from out here called Downcast Studios. You feel me?
Yeah. You're telling me about that.
Yeah. So, they wrote the script. They had all their everything ready, the equipment, all the shit. And they needed actors, so they asked me, and I've been working with them. We're already gonna collab on something. They've been on the podcast a few times. They asked me to come in and do the role with them, so I did. And just like I said, I've done videos where they were scripted, storyline and the whole thing like that. Something's going on, but this was dialogue. Obviously, this is acting, takes, all the shit, bro. It took a lot more than I expected, and it's a lot more tedious when you're doing that because everybody got to be on the right time, and we got to fucking all focus on one goal.
This shit's fucking production. Even the one we did at my house, the Halloween one, that took a lot of like prep work and just like getting everybody together in one space and
all
then,
on the same page.
A couple things went wrong and it was like, damn, this might not work, know? And we just had a day or two to shoot it and figure it out.
And we did it. And that was I think that's also what makes it dope because it's like guerrilla style, you feel me? It's like, fuck it, we're gonna get it. We're gonna set up shop. We know this is the objective. We're gonna plan it out, and we're gonna adapt if we need to, and execute. And yeah, that's kind of like what I'm talking about. Like, I wanted to start doing more stuff like that. I thought that was fire. You feel me?
Yeah, that was fun. I want to do another one.
Like, and that's same thing. It's dope. Like maybe we can do that. Maybe we get on another one soon. Like I said, with that, I think that was fire. And I like stuff like that. I want what I'm leaning into right now. Besides script and material, I'm also leaning into what do you call it? Reactionary shows and reality shows.
What kind of reality shows?
Well, I don't want to do the typical. I don't want to do the typical reality show where it's drama and it's always bullshit. I want it to be interesting, but I want it to be about
like Viceland kind of thing.
Viceland style. Like we talk about cultures. You know, I have a documentary I'm working on right now, and it's a part of the nightlife. It's on strippers. And the new coming soon. You know what I mean? Not to be used without the spirits, but you know what I mean? Coming soon. But it's just about the life. The life, you know what I mean? From somebody that's been working, and even now, like I know females that do OnlyFans now, and they're very successful at it. And you know, the stripping, I guess you could say, genre has taken different types of turns now with technology and shit. So we're gonna do a little documentary on that. You know, coming soon, real soon. Don't even try to bite my shit, because if you do, you might break your tooth. But you know, that's coming out. I want to do shit like that, like shit like Viceland, bro. Like just fire shit, like content that's not. It ain't like. I don't want to do the typical drama-filled reality show where, you know, backstabbing and fights and arguments, and you know, I don't want to do that shit. That shit to me, that's you know, leave that to somebody else.
Pittsburgh Flavor of Love.
I don't want to do that. Yeah, I mean, it depends. We could do. I know the homie Mad Dog. We could do the. We could do the Flavor of Mad Dog reality show. You know what I'm saying? He's a knock from our what's it called? He's a good dude though. He's from around the way. You know, known him forever. But he's an interesting dude. If we did that, maybe, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? But definitely I don't want to do that, you know? I want to do shit like how we did that, variety, music, skits.
Yeah, that's what was cool about that was the skits.
The skits. The variety,
the freestyle kind of,
the music, like the breaks with the sets in between. You feel me? Like that's fire to me. That shit that you could throw that on at a party, and you know, it could be your background.
That's what my whole thinking was, and I want to keep doing more stuff, but like holiday and seasonal kind of things. Like even though they're only really good like once, it's like a year. Yeah. You're only gonna check it out once a year. Like you're gonna check it out every fucking year. Yeah, you know, like if you put out like a dope special, it's like a Thanksgiving special or fucking Christmas special, like people are gonna put that mix on. Yeah, you know,
exactly.
That music,
yearly, it'll be timeless to where it's like, yo, we can play this in the background every fucking year. You know what I mean? Like, or we gotta watch it.
You know, fucking Christmas special with all the boys fucking
rolling up Christmas trees.
Yeah, right. Fucking that. So that was my thinking behind that, and I still think that's a good idea for anybody.
It is. So if anybody biting, just know y'all know what time it is. But I think that was a fire idea. That's kind of the shit that I want to do more, like, because you know, it's like how you were talking about. You know how you said you were going to the conference and they were talking about breaking down content and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's like that. Not only is it
start off with something big on YouTube and then like break it down to TikTok or Instagram and then keep switching it out with different
and just getting
social media platforms.
Because it's all about exposure, bro. Like nowadays, it's like not only exposure but accessibility, right? People want to be able to, if they like what you do, they want to be able to play it on whatever that they play it on. So if it's YouTube, Spotify, fucking wherever they go, you do what I'm saying? So if you're available and there's many platforms, or at least they could hear about you, and then, you know, they could reach you in different ways. I mean, that's kind of what anybody wants, because now you're getting the maximum exposure for your brand, you know, or your whatever it is that you're pushing, you know. It's crazy. This whole shit, even with this now, that with the AI shit, like I know you've seen it while I was telling you about it, and we've been talking about it on the podcast already, but it just came back out, and it was what I was saying the whole time. So either I knew, like, you know what I mean? It was just obvious, put that way for anybody that knows. But you heard about the AI now that you could actually use it like a plugin.
Yeah,
put it in your vocal chain. You sound like Kanye, or if you want to sound like fucking Lil Uzi Vert or whoever. Yeah, it's not like how they do presets. You know how they do vocal chain presets, where it's just those are their plugins that they use or whatever. These are their, you know. This is like, you know, actual. You sound like the voice for those people listening and don't fucking know. So now, basically, to break it down, it's like I could do a song right now, rap it in my voice, hit the little button, run it through the plugin. And it will sound, the voice on the other end will come out sounding like Kanye or whoever the fuck they, you know, that's programmed into. That's why I said when I seen that, I was like, new Pac album coming soon.
Yeah, right. No, because I remember picking up the phone back in the day, and then you would just be like, hello? hello, and then it just hang up, and people are like, yeah, if you say like a couple syllables, they can like imitate your vocal cords or whatever. So that doesn't surprise me at all. You know, that they've got like, of course, like big rappers and stuff. And then it's funny that you mentioned that, because I've been producing and using this website called UberDuck, where you can type in phrases. So like, say you want Rick Ross to say something, or like a different, like a cartoon character, Fred Flintstone or something, you could type in a phrase and it'll say it back in that character's voice.
Oh yeah.
And they have like a bunch of just like mainstream like pop culture characters, you know, from cartoons and TV shows,
That's
rappers
crazy.
and stuff. Yeah.
So yeah, it was only a matter of time, because when I seen it, the first thing that I thought of when I heard that they were even cloning people's voices. They said now it's only 3 seconds, like you said, or whatever. They said it's like they need 3 seconds of your audio and they could clone your voice. Now they have an AI that could do it. So when I heard about that a while ago, I was like, it's only a matter of time for they do the plugins where they could just mimic other famous people's voice. Because what's to stop them? I mean, they got reference tracks anywhere of anybody famous, if you put their music out, or even if it's just video, good enough video or whatever I could say, or audio quality. I don't know how that works as far as, you know, how the AI reads it and shit, but you know, it's like, it's wild. Like even now you see those remixes now where people are taking like these vocals off these classic records, and just either they'll play the instrumental where you could actually hear like the whole just vocal they actually used on the release copy of the single version, and it's an AI that does that, you know, that separates,
like pulls it out.
It separates the vocals from the beat, you know what I mean? So like now you'll see that, and you get to hear like just the vocals, so you get to hear like, even I think it's dope. I think that's dope, because it's like, yo, I get to actually hear like just the, you know, for someone that appreciates music, you just be like, yo, I get to hear just the raw vocals with what they put on it, how's it sound, you know, how the more of the emotion and shit without the beat. But yeah, this AI shit is kind of crazy, because I was telling you, I was like, and I've been saying this, like, the next thing's gonna happen is like, because people are gonna start making money off this. So you know what happens if I'm over here selling the fucking Pac vocal chain, you know, whatever, eventually somebody's gonna want their money. Some of these artists are gonna want their bread. They're gonna want to fucking do something to implement them, like the average person from not. I mean, because you can't stop the internet. If they're gonna bootleg you, they're gonna bootleg you. But I'm saying, if anybody wants to use this technology to release a project or some shit that like, you know, like through labels or whatever the case, kind of similar to how what we have now through sampling and shit like that. You know what I mean? I feel like a person's gonna have to copyright their voice.
Yeah, at least their name, something.
For sure, their name and their voice too, though, because it's gonna be like, you're cloning my voice.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, to make this product. So now you dig what I'm saying? It's like a whole nother market that's gonna be opening up as far as how to make money off shit.
Yeah, the shit's fucking nuts. The vocals seems like a lot, and then like the songwriting seems like a lot. But like I use AI for like some music production and just like art generating art and stuff.
I like it, bro. I don't have a problem with that. I think the vocals, and I think how it's applied on certain things, it's not cool, but other things it's fire. Like I like the art when people type in, you know, and they do give me an image, the AI art. I like when people make those AI art videos and they put them to famous rappers, and you know what I mean, let AI like interpret what they think. You know what I mean?
That was the AI. I did my old logo and like AI. Yeah, I just sent that off to like a computer, like online, you know.
Oh yeah, that's fire. See, and I like shit like that. See, to me, I feel like it has uses, but then when you, like you said, when it comes to like people's vocals and cloning voices and shit, it's just a little bit like,
It's cool because like I'll put little shout outs and stuff. Or I'll make them say like my name, you know, or just like weird shit like for DJing with, or like putting in a song.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You're listening to.
You know, I could do that with like Biggie Smalls if I want right now. I've done like weird shit with different artists or different like
that's kind of fire though.
It's funny, you know, it's like kind of weird.
But you're not making money off it. You're just like, you're doing it as like something cool, like
and like I'll try and tweak it and do weird shit afterwards, so like it sounds, I don't know, different. But there's been a couple, you know, those tools are dope.
I think it just depends, you know. Like for me, like I was saying, it's certain things and how it's applied and shit is kind of wild. And even now, you know, like those deep fake videos, I know you've seen them with the ones from Biden and Trump, and they're just talking
crazy
shit.
The video game. They're always playing video games on my feed. It'll be like all three of them playing video games with headsets on, talking shit to each other. I'm just like, this is fucking laughs, dude. Like, this is comedy.
Another thing that I think is funny, because it's like, man, I'm like, whoever is sitting down and writes this shit, and thinks about putting this all together, it's hilarious, bro. And then you start hearing shit like, they're talking about Elon Musk and all these other world leaders and shit, or tech leaders and stuff like that, are talking about they want to put a halt to the development of AI, now or whatever. I'm not even sure if it's, I seen it and I Googled it, but I haven't done a lot of research on it, so we'll keep it light because I'm not going to sit here and act like I know everything. But it's like, what do you think about that? You think it's going to be like the Terminators and shit, bro? If AI starts fucking thinking better than we do? I guess you know.
Like, I feel like we're going to just kind of merge with it. And it's going to be like
highly intelligent human beings.
Just sort of, yeah. It's going to be like weird things. It's going to be like, eventually at some point, it's going to be easier to check social media if you get a fucking implant, and people are just going to be like,
okay,
yeah, like, it's just like, people
not
are
only
gonna
that,
do
they're
it.
gonna be like, this is a flex. What fool? I'm
exactly.
With
like,
a chip in my brain right now. What's happening?
I got fucking chips. You know, like, I'm ready for my fucking. I'm ready to get scanned, dog.
Yeah.
So that's what I think is
gonna. I'm scrolling through Facebook right now while I'm talking to you.
I don't know. I'm not like on the forefront of like what's going on with all this stuff, but like what I see at some of these like tech meetings that I kind of go to and work at, and then just sci-fi books and stuff is just like, it seems like it's gonna just merge. The headset, the Oculus 3D, that shit's just gonna keep growing and getting bigger.
Next thing you know, it's gonna be a helmet and shit or some crazy shit. I mean, it's kind of wild, bro. It's just I just think that like some shit is super cool, and the other shit is like, we're as fucking humans, bro, we're hella like just irrational. That's the best way I could put it, so it's like, I think if AI really just became self-aware and started running, started look at us and be like, you guys are like totally unnecessary.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah,
you guys are totally unnecessary, and the world will probably be a better place without humans in general, like, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying, I'm saying that to say this, we got to do better. You know what I mean? I feel like until we could actually have that a separate entity AI type thing, that we create, because that's basically like creating life. You feel me? So we as humans, we need to evolve a little bit more before we already create life, and don't even give a fuck about it. And now you're creating artificial life and like, you know what I mean, putting more power into it than it should have or whatever. I don't know. It's wild.
Gonna be crazy. Yeah, I think it's gonna take off more once they start getting self-driving trucks. Because that's kind of like what's on the next. From what I see, is like that's where a lot of energy is being put.
Good into autonomous and electric vehicles and shit. Yeah,
self-driving, self-parking,
that's
technology.
Like that Logan movie. You seen that Logan movie where it had the fucking all their diesel trucks were like ran by themselves, nobody in it. You know what I mean? So I see that. I see all that shit coming. It ain't gonna be flying cars, but these cars gonna be out here flying though. So be careful, because you can't blame nobody if an AI car hits you. Who the fuck? I mean, you could blame the company, but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
AI car don't know nothing. It might hit you and drag your ass like and keep going. It's like, I don't know what's going on. Marvin, you feel me?
I see them driving around.
Yeah.
With and without people.
Yeah.
Or it'll be like somebody in the passenger seat and like nobody driving. Yeah. I'll see them all around in the city.
Yeah, real shit. No, I see it a lot too out there. Like, you know what I mean? It's heavy. It's heavy. It's a big change, bro. You know what it is. It's the Novi Podcast. We got our partner in here, bro. Where can they find you? Where can they reach you? Where can they reach out and holler at you?
I'm on SoundCloud. Just look up Años. SoundCloud. Years Deep on Instagram. Years_deep_ and if you know, you know.
If you know, you know where to find them, and you know where to find us too as well. You could go to Instagram at no_invite_podcast. Find us there. You could go to anywhere where they're streaming podcasts. Type in No Invite Podcast, will pop up right there. You'll see the smoking guy. You feel me? Then you could also as well go to our YouTube channel if you really want to fuck with us. That's RiBirth Media Films, RiBirth Media Films with a Z. You could go there, slander us in the comments, talk reckless, but just know that we can and will eventually choose to do this Jay and Silent Bob route and find you, and we're gonna match that energy. You feel me? So just remember that. I tell people all the time, because I do a podcast and shit, and people only know me from podcasting or whatever. It's like, don't get it fucked up. You know what I mean? This is something I do. This is not, just because I do this don't mean that you could talk to a motherfucker any kind of way. Kind of like your servers. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Let's be respectful, you know, because I will still sock one of you motherfuckers if I got to. You know what I mean? That's just keeping it on the up and up, though. I prefer not to. I choose nonviolence every time. With that being said, this is episode 127, and we're keeping it shaking like we always do. If you got time, we got the time for you too. All right?